came up with an idea where I wanted to discuss about smart, ethical smart HR management assistants and ethical smart technical manager assistants. Now these assistants could be kind of cloud application. They could be loaded onto and implemented on different form factors like a mobile device or a wearable device in some cases, and also fixed computing and communication devices. So what happens exactly when you sit for an interview? Normally, as per the conventional way of conducting an assessment or interview, where you actually kind of re-interview a resource in a team who is actually a subordinate to you and is reporting to you, it is very likely that the person who is actually subordinate in this kind of context, when you do a contextual analysis, you find that the subordinate is bound to or compelled to by the employment contract and also by the by the general practice that he will be the one who will be actually honest, ethical, and he will try to report you in the best possible way, as you are the technical manager or for that matter the HR manager are the supervisors. So basically the subordinates are going to follow a bottom to top communication, which is which is ethical and also via proper legal channel. And they have no say, and everything is under the control. And it's not possible, as I told earlier, for the top management to actually adopt top to bottom communication and do management observations. In such cases where there is an issue, where that human is there in the loop, and if the process is completely manual, then it is all the more dangerous. If it is partially manual, there is human in the loop, and with the manual intervention, in that case it is suggested or recommended that you implement such kind of ethical smart AI based assistance. Now here what happens is, if they are conducting an interview and if this is fully manual or partially manual, where you are using a computing device to conduct the interview or re-interview or assessment, it is very, very, very likely that the answers that are supplied or provided by the interviewee in this process of assessment is actually responses to kind of subjective and objective questionnaire that is fired towards you. And also you have certain facts and figures that has been collected over a period of time, let's say 1 quarter, about the roles and responsibilities and about the quarterly goals and targets of the person, whether he has met those targets or goals or not. In certain cases, when you find that there is a resource who is approximately 20 years has approximately 20 years of experience, 2 decades, it is very likely that the person may not be fitting into a role which is kind of a subordinate role, and there may be a person who would be playing multiple roles at the same time. So he may be managing two different sub departments within a given department, and he may be actually under threat. He may be under some kind of bias. Both the HR manager and the technical manager, they may be under different kind of biases like personal bias, statehood bias, language bias. I'm not trying to be critical. They may be under some kinds of racism bias. So you don't understand. There may be umpteen number of situations which are unpredictable. And I'm not trying to complain where I'm trying to be racist, but I'm trying to say that it is intrinsic human nature. It is by design of a human being or a human live entity that these kind of behaviors can actually creep in to the system, and this is going to do a lot of damage to the company. In the process, you may end up losing employees or resources who may be very important for the company, and if at all there is a possibility that the company is going to grow, believes in lateral entry and inorganic growth, and also at the same time believes in some kind of trade-off between not a lateral entry but organic growth, intrinsic growth, then it is very likely that the person can be promoted to higher levels to lead and conduct or do tasks or accomplish or perform responsibilities which are actually very helpful for the company from the standpoint of business. Also, it is important to understand that under such situations, when there is a violation of some certain protocols which are not falling in line with the labor law, or in certain cases where there are regulatory issues, you have to be very sure that today in this global innovation-based economy, systems have become more intelligent, smart. We are talking about IoT ecosystem. This has to be everywhere. When you are talking about the relationship between AI and ethics, it is important to understand that ethics, why it is important, and which is the right area. which is the gap, where are the gaps exactly, the white spaces, the loopholes, the gaps where there is a likelihood of design and implementation of new and enhanced systems, which are basically these systems that I'm talking about. They are basically, they are kind of ethical, smart AI-based assistants. They can play an important role. In such scenarios, you can have an ethical, smart AI-based assistants, moderators, ombudsmen, where these such kind of management by observations and objectives can be done in the most optimal way, and there can be no chances. You can also have human in the loop, and also the chances that there is an error is eliminated, or for that matter, it is minimized to the most. What happens exactly? If there is some kind of interview or some kind of assessment that is conducted where a questionnaire is thrown to the interview as a part of the interview session, there may be n number of subjective and objective questionnaire which the interviewee is ready to answer. He or she answers. So what exactly happens? In response, in a conventional system, the person who is the interviewer will actually take his own time, and it is subject to deferred examination or deferred assessment. While in this kind of system, there is no delay. We can remove the latency. We can do it in quasi-real time. And what happens is the smart AI-based moderator is also a part of the interview. And also the smart AI-based moderator takes care of all those communication dialogue that happens with the interviewer and interviewee. And also, the smart moderator also assesses the interviewee based on as well as the interviewer based on all the responses and the questions that were asked. And then the scoring is done using AI. The system is subjected to learning in multiple iterations, and the system becomes smart by virtue of machine learning, machine teaching, machine learning that happens. Then the system is slowly, can be fed with fuzzy logic. It can become more intelligent. It can take decisions in multiple states, and it can be taking decisions, becoming more by being more closer to AI hard and human intelligence. And artificial neural network also would play an important role. By the way, then I come back to the situation where, when that these are certain situations where, regulatory issues can happen, may arise, there may be legal issues that may arise, because you are not, you have to understand that if you are a foreign entity this is a global innovation-based economy, every entity is allowed to practice in any part of the world, but there is a kind of responsibility to that native country. And when we are talking about startup and, SMEs, there is a lot of opportunity that you can actually run a captive startup, a lab within the company. This can be a spin-off, and it can be finally spin-in. It could be spin-in as a part of the company, and the company grows. If at all the company is running short of business. But, you should not go ahead and find out reasons which are not genuine. They are virtual reasons. And then citing virtual reasons to actually terminate an employee who is senior is unethical. It's completely unethical. It should not be done. And that is why I'm suggesting that, smart AI-based HR management assistants or technical manager assistants, smart AI-based moderators, which is they can be a part of the interview, and smart AI-based ombudsman, where ombudsman will actually be responsible for the final call. If at all you find that, either the interviewee or the interviewer finds that I'm not satisfied with the assessment, this can be, escalated. A ticket can be opened up, it can be raised, escalated, and it can be handled by the smart, ethical smart AI-based ombudsman. And if at all the ombudsman is going to recommend, the ombudsman can recommend that you can actually go ahead and file a case in the court of law. And then, unnecessarily, without any reason, just because of the mistake of a single resource at the management level, the company may be actually pulled into litigation. And then there may be a number of issues that the company would face actually. Because, if you are not citing reasons under labor law, and you are actually abiding by your own company bylaws, which may not be, even those bylaws may be violated, you are actually going to put that employee at the management level is going to put the company at risk actually. So this is why I'm saying that, when people are there in the, human beings, they actually want systems to be smart. They want them to be artificially intelligent. They also now want to, add this component of ethics, morality. These are very important components because, there can be n number of biases. And whenever there is a human being in the loop, the chances, man in the loop, the chances that the probability that there can be an occurrence of unethical acts is very, very high. Thank you.